Hello, I am Arya Vardhan Singh and my roll number is 21EC30013 and I am from the EC department from section 13, and today I am going to disassemble and reassemble a TV remote, a normal Tata Sky TV remote. So as you can see, it is completely functional. When I press the button, the light is glowing. That means that the buttons are working. So this is a completely functional TV remote. So first, if you look at the overview, pretty solid. It has all the buttons and each button corresponds to a signal that is transmitted via infrared rays that is emitted from the LED sensor, something like this, and it is intermitted by the TV, and a particular operation is carried out. So if I open the back of the remote, I can see there are two batteries. So two small batteries are there, they are not the large ones. So 1.5 volt batteries, two of them. So this is the basic exterior of the remote, and since I have removed the batteries, the remote stops functioning. So as you can see from the top, here is the LED sensor, the infrared emitter. So yeah, let's go ahead and open this remote. So for that I have this, try opening it. You can see I have opened the remote. So there are basically three compartments. This is the exterior, which contains nothing more than the Tata Sky design and promotion. In the interior we have the buttons. These are basically all the buttons that we have, and this is the main motherboard, the main circuit board, sorry, of the remote. And if you have a look at the circuit, so this is how a Tata Sky remote circuit looks like. So this is basically an LED light emitting diode. This is what is called an LED. So it emits infrared radiations. So this is also called an infrared remote. So this is the main circuit board. As you can see here, there's a capacitor and a transistor over here, and this is where the two batteries go in. And as you can see, this is the main board with the microprocessors. So these are the microprocessors, and this is the LED. So basically what happens is, when we press a button, you know, the buttons are attached to the main circuit board, something like this. And when we press a button, what happens is the remote, it converts, each button press corresponds to a binary signal. So a binary signal is a signal that we write in mathematics as a combination of zeros and ones. So basically what the zero represents is a high voltage. In what happens inside the remote is, when there's a zero, there's a high voltage in the first half of bit duration and a low voltage in the second half of bit duration. And when there's a one, so there's a high voltage in the second half and a low voltage in the first half of the bit duration. So basically when we press a button, a corresponding signal is generated in binary, and all the signals have the same bit strength. So for example, let the bit strength be 6, so the signals will look something like a 0 1 0 0 1 0, and each button will have a different binary signal. What the microprocessor does, what these microprocessors do, they convert these binary signals into different waves, which are then modulated with a carrier frequency that is generally 36 kilohertz. So why do we modulate the signal is that because the regular radiations from the sun that reach the earth, they may interfere with the signal when it's traveling from the remote to the television. So to avoid that, because bits can be manipulated by sun rays contain infrared radiation. So to prevent that from happening, what we do is we modulate the infrared signal that is generated in binary with a carrier wave of frequency 36 kilohertz generally. So, and the infrared rays have a specific address bit in them, so that they do not get interpreted by some other electronic device that also operates on infrared. So what the TVs have an infrared ray detector that grabs those infrared rays and converts them into electronic signals, and corresponding action is carried out in the television. So this is how the remote circuit looks like. So there's a capacitor, there's a transistor, and this is the main board with all the soldering and the microprocessors, and this is the LED light, and these are the buttons. So we'll look at reassembling the structure and seeing that if it works. Now when we put the batteries, the circuit will be completed. And as you can see, the remote is still functional. So this is disassembly and reassembly of a TV remote, and I've also explained how it works, how the infrared rays are generated. They are basically a bit code corresponding to each button that we press on the remote, and those infrared rays are detected by the television, and corresponding action is taken within the television with the help of a transcoder. So thank you. This is my submission for the DIY assignment 3, that is disassembly and reassembly of any household appliance. So I took a TV remote because it's not much risky in terms of cost and all, and also it's an item we use in daily life. So it's good that we get to know how it works and how its interior looks like. Thank you. This is it.